All right. Thank you so much, wherever you are. Welcome, Momodou Sabally, Presidential Affairs. Thank you so much, Momodou Sabally, Presidential Advisor to the program. Well, Sabally, is less than 6 months before we have the presidential election in the Gambia. Is the NPP ready to face a united opposition who are ready to take over State House in December, on December 5th or 6th?
Thanks for having me to start with, and greetings to your distinguished audience. You are very eager to jump onto the subject matter, but your question is a bit ridiculous because you are asking me whether NPP is ready to face a united opposition, right?
Yes.
Because the opposition is not united, and they will never be united. You know, I've said this before. We have a grand alliance, NPP-led President Barrow as candidate, no contest. But there is no other coalition or alliance in that country. It's not going to happen. Because like I said a couple of months ago to Momodou on this drive-by program on Q Radio, it will be if Iran and Israel can come together as a team and play in the World Cup as one team, then the Gambian opposition will come together under one umbrella. It's not going to happen. So it's a non-starter. So this one, like the Moriba of Besese, this is the classic penalty without goalkeeper. There is no other option but to score.
Well, one would have said, okay, these are statements that people like Sabally, who had been with the UDP or the opposition, would say now. I mean, how the clock of time can go like anti-clockwise. What would you say to them as well, those critics?
If there are a couple of years back, you were at Gambia Daily, then you moved to GRTS, now you are operating solo. There's a name for it, it's called life. The tides and times of life, so we move. There's no need to believe at that point. Things time and change, times and things change. That's how Bamba can say, put it in one of his poems on Jufure kissing you with happy lips. It is what it is, Baldeh. The youths are happy.
What do you have to say on this day, 32 years ago? I mean, when it comes to the revolution, the University of the Gambia, you are the first valedictorian in 1999. So some would say, they would not be wrong to say you are a product of the revolution. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I've never denied the impact of the AFPRC, APRC government on my life path. And to date, and throughout the most contentious moments in our evolution, especially the last 10 years, I've always given credit to President Jammeh and the AFPRC, APRC government for the trailblazing move of creating the Gambia's first ever university program. And it's not just me. Jammeh and the team set up the UEP, University Extension Program. And then came the University of the Gambia. And then a proliferation of higher education institutions. The credit goes to Jammeh and those young boys in uniform at the time. And like I famously quoted in my book, Jangi Jollof, quoting from Robert Frost, two roads diverge in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not take both and be the same traveler. I took the one less traveled by, and it has made all the difference. That is the story of university education in the Gambia, pioneered by former President Yahya Jammeh. The impact, I mean, you can never fully describe it in words. I think it's the most transformative step ever taken in our development evolution history.
But many people nowadays tend to shy away when mentioning some of the good things that Jammeh presided, such as the University of the Gambia, in which you are the first valedictorian. So, I mean, why do you think it's important or not important to talk about Jammeh as it is as the July 22nd revolution is now a bygone era?
Well, you know, Gambians can very often prefer to take the line of least resistance in this mob culture online, where if you disagree with the prevailing thoughts, you become maligned and hectored. It takes a lot of courage to stand your ground and trumpet out your truth, even when the trending thoughts are against that. I happen to be a student of the American sage philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson, whose philosophy is self-reliance. Some of us, by the grace of Allah, we are actually more comfortable going against the train of thought of the mob than being encapsulated into that cage, that public cage of how do you say conforming to the public. We are non-conformists, so we say it as it is. And at the end of the day, the truth is going to be established by history. So I don't think it should be a problem for Gambians to give the devil his due, as it were.
What do you have to say about what is reported to be, yes, the NPP has the strength, but others also say there are some internal wranglings, that, for instance, when Keba Madi Bojang split from you, Keba Madi Bojang, has a lot of support within the combos. You guys seems to be suffering in terms of mobilizing people within the combos, because Keba Madi had been a strong pillar within the NPP to mobilize, grassroots support. What do you have to say about that, moving towards the December presidential election?
I think Keba's departure from the NPP was a blessing in disguise, because Keba had been disaffected, disgruntled, and creating a lot of rancor within the party. So since he was pushed out, it creates room for further unity and solidarity within the party. And Keba, who could not even make his own brother win a parliamentary seat in Congo, what kind of crowd does he have? None. So it's not an issue. I think, like no party wants to lose a single individual, talk less of an executive member. But Keba, who was disgruntled, disaffected, rancorous, acrimonious, if he goes, it's a blessing for the party. That's what I fundamentally believe. And the NPP is growing in leaps and bounds in the Congo Safia.
But it must be said, the crowd he amassed at the Buva Zone rally was not an ordinary crowd. There are a lot of people there. So you want to say...
Keba does not have a crowd. Keba is just playing to the gallery. He's made the UDP believe that he's going to align with them. And once you do that in the public space, you rent a crowd. UDP was there, Unite was there, all these fragmented political parties. Keba doesn't have a crowd. He doesn't. So we are not even shaken by that. If you know, as the boys would say on Facebook.
Yeah, but Gerigara made mention of the fact that one must not underrate Keba Madi Bojang, because he's the only one, few of the political parties who can amass such a crowd, and his crowd is organic. And Gerigara has been around for some time. He also has some...
I think Gerigara got that wrong. He's in KM. He doesn't know our politics of the combos in the West Coast. He doesn't understand. I think he was baffled by the spectacle. We know the reality on the ground. It is what it is. Keba does not have a crowd. It was as the Idi Job and his Elton people, it was a Jafare Kafo. Keba does not have a crowd. Talk less of an organic one. It doesn't exist.
How do you respond to criticism regarding some of the sensitive issues, such as this border problem that we are facing with Senegal, electricity, moving towards an election? The least the ruling party would do is to accommodate, is to receive a lot of complaints or issues, from the electorate, because that would give the opposition ammunition to move forward with their agenda and to be entrusted when it comes to the election day. What do you have to do with some of these major challenges we are facing in the Gambia as of now?
Well, we listen, we observe, we analyze, and we take practical, proactive, responsive steps anchored in knowledge and wisdom. We are not into any kind of political brinkmanship like the Kauye. You know what the word Kauye means in Mandinka? You can translate it to your listeners. Kauye was like Almame Jeba and Talik Bensouda, who would not even fight a street battle trying to get into saber rattling to create a problem between Gambia and Senegal. I think it's too cheap of all of them. Like genuine criticism will take but mounting a podium and making unnecessary, unwarranted noise. Gambia and Senegal, we are condemned to live together. We know that. And I must make reference here to Panjai Girigara's audio when he practically sat down baby Taliban and fed him with the Cerelac of Senegambian history. This whole thing didn't start today. The borders between these countries remain a contentious issue. The Tubabs, who are supposed to be more knowledgeable than us, who actually created these borders, could not solve these problems. But the good thing is we have an ongoing mechanism, bilateral diplomatic channels to resolve this, and those institutions are working. That's the good thing about it. So the problems will be solved. I think this was one heck of a misunderstanding, and I blame it on breakdown in communication. Senegal cannot come and make an aggression on Gambia, and the following day, President Barrow is hugging and kissing with Jomai. So it just shows that it's a misunderstanding. It does not represent any real tension between the two countries. Again, we need to be very careful, especially those of us with public voice, regarding the Senegambia issue. Like Panja said, the Senegalese brought in their sons and daughters into this country. Dozens of them lost their lives to protect and restore the territorial integrity and sovereignty of the Republic of the Gambia. Those same Senegalese who happen to be serving in the Gambia right now would not be the ones to encroach on our sovereignty and try to undermine the Republic. No, it's not going to happen. You know, like the Mandinkas would say, your teeth and your tongue. Sometimes they clash, but that doesn't mean they are enemies. You don't cut off your tongue and throw it just because the teeth hit it. No. Gambia and Senegal are condemned to live together. Beyond Gambia and Senegal, we're talking of regional integration in ECOWAS. All these presidents were in Freetown recently. We have the continental mechanism. Africa cannot be integrating and disintegrating at the same time. It doesn't make any sense. We just recently had the Senegambia bridge. It's benefiting, if you ask me, Senegal more than Gambia. But we know that we need to be there for each other as countries in the sub-region. And if definitely we're going to have any hopes of the dreams of the Osagyebo Kwame Nkrumahs, the Patrice Lumumbas, the Marcus Garveys, if Africa is going to unite, it's going to start with Gambia and Senegal. So the warmongers and the doomsday prophets, they are going to be disappointed. They want conflict between Gambia and Senegal. It's not going to happen. If it didn't happen between Wad and Jammeh, two hotheads, definitely it's not going to happen between President Jomai, cool, calm, and collected, well-grounded, and His Excellency, Africa's most peaceful president, who is leading the continent's happiest nation, where the youth are happy. Baldeh, my wife has family in Senegal. Myself, I have family in Senegal. I have cousins married in Senegal. I'm sure you yourself, you have your fuller relatives in Fouta Toro, from northern Senegal down into Guinea. I mean, these are people connected. We cannot afford to have these artificial borders slice and dice us and get us into war. I mean, it's not going to happen. In fact, I saw a post by one of my Facebook friends, Solk, a very smart young guy. I mean, he said, in fact, the conversation, and I like this word conversation, because we need to discuss these issues. He said the conversation between Gambia and Senegal actually should be how to remove those borders, not to how to allow those artificial borders into Daga's head. No, it's not. It's an unfortunate incident, Baldeh. I mean, the two authorities are talking. And I realize even the serious opposition, there's Bojo opposition, like Taliban, Sudan, Almani, Jibadi, wannabe heroes, several others. And there's serious opposition like PDIS, even UDP. I mean, pushing to make sure these issues are resolved through diplomatic channels. And I think that's the most responsible way to deal with these issues, not going online to look for shares on Instagram and Facebook. Come on. Boy, Gambia, Senegal,
no waaye suñu waxee loolu ñu bari ñoo dee mer parce que dañoo wax ne loolu wax la rek because what happened on that day, July 16, was an aggression on the side of Senegal. Wouldn't you see it as a kind of embarrassment when Barrow government it should be a friendly government, unlike Yahya Jammeh, who was some would say belligerent or is recalcitrant?
Baldeh, relationships between nations cannot be calculated and calibrated on instant occurrences. There is history to all of this. And I'm actually disappointed that you are being pushed into this narrow analysis of this in the month of July. Senegalese, it was in July. I thought as the background. We will talk about July.
July 31st.
Wanted to destroy this republic.
Yes.
So there is a contest to this. The Senegalese cannot come here and lose lives to protect the republic. The same Senegalese want to come and defend the republic. It doesn't make sense. There are so many things happening within the context, and there's no text without context. The context just belies what the warmongers and saber-rattlers want us to believe. No, there's no war between Gambia and Senegal. There's no problem. Is there a misunderstanding? Yes. What happened in Bullock, should it have happened? No. But are we going to use that to destroy a relationship that predates the coming of the two halves? No, it's not going to happen. We are going to handle this maturely through proper diplomatic channels. I'm sure Senegal has learned a lot of some lessons from this incident. So have Gambia. We are talking through the proper channels to resolve this. And we are focusing on the greater good, not the little corny issues. You cannot have a Senegambia bridge connecting us. You want a little fence between in block to destroy us. No, it's not going to happen.
Moving back,
the bigger picture.
Moving back to politics, why do you seem to be regularly dishing your own dish, political dish to Talib every time? Some might say this is something that you should now try to, engage, in a kind of ceasefire, but you always, go after him. What is about Talib that you are always throwing stones at him?
Did you have dinner with him in New York, Baldeh?
No.
I'm just wondering because I'm not just talking about Talib. I'm talking about everybody in this country, and I'm talking about everything. Talib is the Masihud Dajjal, the false prophet that has been predicted by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Yes.
I think Talib is one of the symbols of that. So people who will come and mislead people, you see fire, you tell people it's water, and you see water, you want people to believe that water is fire. So this guy is a very dangerous, insidious element. It's a very nice smiley face. Like I said, if you see the face, it looks like a girl just coming out of a salon. But he's very dangerous. This is a guy who was in UDP, came from nowhere, took the back way to get UDP's nomination as mayor. After a time, he said, no, the mayoral seat is too small for him. He wants Babala Palazzo. And he went it in the most dirty, insidious way to try to break up that party after establishing the nucleus of Unite movement within UDP. He asked for the flag bearer. They said there's a democratic process. He said he would not. It's my way or the highway. Once he knew that he could not get it, he decided to break off in the dirtiest way ever possible, with resignations from the core of UDP lined up on a daily, hourly basis, trying to browbeat the UDP. But he took the fight to him. Now my point is that what we should be talking about Talib right now, and that's why I'm asking whether you met him over dinner last night. Hold on a second, let me take a sip of water. It's a bit hot here. What we should be talking about right now, and on a serious note, the question right now should be, who is the mayor of KMC right now? Because Talib is not in this country. He's not in KM. He's not talking about KM. He's talking about electricity. He's talking about cellular border. Yaulina Santamway, Setalal Gotasi, Ibo Town, ak Joshua, Setalal Marses Serakunda, Aklatikunda, Munulo Deflolo. Those markets are the dirtiest today in the history of this country. Fire outbreaks at Latikunda and Serakunda. You know why at Sandaga? Because Talib is not cleaning the mess at that market. Politics around swing them be war. So then Safara Lale die moy am. This is what you are having. He said he transformed waste management in this country. But right now, if you go to Bakote dump site, you have more donkeys than trucks there. The whole project has failed. The smoke and fumes coming out of that Bakote dump site is affecting the orphans at SOS, the SOS children and the children in those schools, thanks to the incompetence, laziness, and corruption of Talib Bensouda. Right in front of his own office at KM, Talib cannot cover the gutters at that place. He cannot clean it. Kairaba Avenue is the dirtiest avenue in this country. Talib cannot fix that, but he backs up these things. Steals the monies of the KMC as proven at the local government commission. Flies out to New York and Seattle. So this guy is a very dangerous guy. That's why I like to expose him so that Gambians see him for who he is. He's a false messiah. He's not Christ.
But you come to his defense when people were talking about the fact that he's not Gambian, I mean those xenophobic attacks. So that was at least but that was at least cool for a ceasefire moment. A lot of people applauded you for that, for that intervention, frank analysis.
This one, you are in America. I'm sure you understand this time. I invoke the fifth. Okay. I just invoke the fifth on that one. You are a literature student. It is what it is.
Okay.
When you want to tell them. And then you tell how you are happening.
Okay.
On a serious note, I think it's very unfair. Gambia. I mean, we are all Gambians. Anybody by definition of the Constitution who qualifies to be a citizen, I think we should treat you as a citizen. Why they go, there's this way now, the guy, they definitely I don't think that's cool. So we want to talk about issues, let's talk about his corruption, his laziness, his incompetence, but if he nationality, I think that is as Gambian as you and
I. Okay. What is your strategy now for what is your strategy now for NPP? You earlier hinted that the opposition is in this area, they are not united. But there could be a white horse before December, so anything could happen. You remember when Barrow came to power in 2016?
Black horse or white horse?
A white horse.
So Baldeh, you expect me to talk to you about NPP strategy when Talib is in New York, and I don't know whether you are talking to him. No, I'll not tell you our strategy. Just watch us. We are all over the place.
I'm not, I'm not talking to him.
Oh, you have not addressed me yet.
A lot of people are talking about it. Yes.
We are ahead of the curve, Baldeh. Like I said, for them, they are still bickering, fighting. I see Talib's people are fighting. Sebusao is trying to fight back. I mean, I don't know, all sorts of back and forth, Talib against Siams against Talib. Can out go again be. Nyun as the ruling party, re-established, re-energized our grand alliance a year ago. So Nyun, we are doing what we are doing, and we are not going to change it as we speak. In fact, the interview is delaying me a bit because there is a meeting somewhere in KM where I'm supposed to be. What I told them, if I fail Baldeh on this interview, he'll never talk to me again. So if I am delay, we are on it 24/7. We are talking to the people at the grassroots. No Facebook, no TikTok, just real politics.
But a lot of people are accusing you guys of mobilizing, renting a crowd, but in real sense, like you guys have a moving crowd. It's not an organic crowd, that you have. Girigara said it in that one of his audios. So what do you have to say about that? And the fact that, again, you guys are having a lot of resources.
With all due respect to Girigara, he is not a grassroots politician. He's a commentator. He sits and watches on social media, TV, and comments. Baldeh, there's no living sentient being in this country who knows Gambian politics more than me. I am on the ground, foot to foot, ghetto to ghetto, bantaba to bantaba, pumping to pumping, juma to juma, church to church, literally. So we know what's up. We are not renting any crowd. Right now, my team is in Joswang talking to people. 2 days ago, we were in Kotu Kwari. Where did we rent them? We were in Fonyi Janak in Bintang. We were in Sibrik talking to people who 5-6 years ago, if NPP goes there, they drive you away. Oh, they cannot be among the Malafikan.
No, but are you afraid that the opposition are on your nose, that they are tightening the nose around, and that it's like Nyamabunyora, nobody knows where it's gonna break.
They watch me more than they monitor their own friend, because they know somebody doesn't joke.
Anyway, without much ado, I don't want to take much of your time since you are busy. You are supposed to go and do political strategy. What do you have to say? Yeah, what do you have to say to wrap up this engaging conversation about the Gambia and about the need for national security and the need to, for all of us to work towards ensuring that our country gets to the promised land?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم I'm doing a preamble because your question is loaded. These are the kind of questions that my very good learned senior Antuman Gay would call omnibus question.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, we're going to talk about some of these issues, Baldeh. It might take 3 to 5 minutes. I hope you have patience.
Of course.
First, internal security. We have challenges. We know it because the society is dynamic. The population is growing, has grown many folds within our own lifetime. Immigration issues, people are moving in and out of the Gambia, and alhamdulillah, people are moving into this country at a very fast rate. Why? Because of the same peace, security, and the low cost of living and availability of opportunities. I see young people from Togo at traffic lights selling, making money. Nigerians from Imo State coming here as a launch pad to go to Europe. Sierra Leoneans, people from Guinea-Bissau, even Senegalese. Almost 500,000 workforce from Senegal. So why in Gambia, they made the Gambia now Gambia because of that peace, the economic stability and growth. Lolu moy lu xew. So lolu xewé, it comes with its challenges. The resources are finite for the government, for the security forces. So these challenges will come. While Manlimawa, we need to work together with the security forces, respect and honor them, and not acting the fool like people like Keba Madi, who would go and deliberately interrupt the work of securities dealing with a foreigner. Gambia record in America, ni Keba Madi at Afulan Nafo Karala. And in a Kulu, Namfang Kulu, na police ni soja role ning dua do kula ni unyange koroma, ebe do kola tolle. As parents, we can and we should do a better job about taking care of our children. We're hearing issues about gangs in our hoods here. Where are those kids coming from? If each parent can take care of your child, will we deal with gang issues in this country? No. So we need to train our young people to respect their parents, to respect their teachers. We've seen an issue of a student having a teacher at Eunice English School. Jara, I'm calling you Jara, that opposite journalist, sorry about that. Baldeh, during your time in school, did you ever think of a student stabbing a teacher?
No.
So all of these issues are what come together and amalgamate into internal security issues. But we need to do better. Young people and cigarettes, young people and cannabis, young people and other substances. As parents, teachers, role models, we need to talk to these young people to desist. You have an altercation with a friend. You go break a bottle and stab him in the neck. But the man is over there. Tying a use, what a drug use, not a hungamuna def lolo. And then I still remember, I still quote this young guy who made this Facebook post when a particular incident happened and a young guy was stabbed and died. He said, the advice is to, especially for young responsible people, because we have some useless elements in society too, uneducated, not interested in work, can't do anything for their parents or not even interested in building a family. They are a nuisance to society. You, Ebrima Baldeh, cannot start, graduate from Amitage, you're going to university, your parents have hope on you, your fiance is looking forward to marry you. Ebrima Baldeh, if that nuisance guy comes and troubles you on the street, dive, conquer them. What the guy said again, I'll never forget about this Facebook post. He said, you're fighting to say that you are right. But is it worth your life now, Baldeh? Did you hear that? You're fighting somebody to establish that you are. Is it worth your life?
No.
And I said it last time on TikTok Live. When the young people asked me to quote a verse of the Quran, they love my quotations. I quoted from Surah Al-Furqan. وَإِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنُ الَّذِينَ يَمْشُونَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ حَوْدًا وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا. Allah praises His servants who walk on the earth with humility. And when the boastful and ignorant people and arrogant ones come to trouble them, they say peace. Let's choose peace. Sometimes it's better to be kind to be right. So these are mixes of issues that we have to work together. And then we work with the police and other internal security agents. The other day, Baldeh, I was so proud of the young people of Kotu Kware. Shout out to you, every young person in Kotu Kware. We had a meeting and they had these reflectors and they are like guards at the venue. They said they have a neighborhood security watch. to make sure their parents and sisters are safe. We can do this stuff. While government also bolsters its efforts in terms of internal security, you know, I've seen a remarkable improvement in police operations. But you know, nobody will thank them. But if there's a single crime, we'll go and insult them. Gambia Police Force, I'm not saying you should rest on your errors, but I see what you're doing. Keep it up. So we need to work together on these things. The parents, the teachers, the imams, the priests, let's speak the good word to our people. Let's guide the society. That's the internal security arrangement. Regarding what's happening across the border, like I said, the Bullock incident, I see it as one unfortunate incident that, in my analysis, happened because of a serious breakdown in communication. But the authorities, alhamdulillah, the cooler heads have prevailed, and all the sound minds I know about, those not focused on getting cheap popularity out of it, they are all asking for dialogue and diplomatic solutions to a problem that can be solved. The border issue is not going to be fixed overnight, Baldeh, take it from me. Anybody who says we'll solve this year, because we have a border commission, they've been working on it, they will continue to work on it. I think they should speed it up a little bit further to make sure these issues are resolved. But Gambia and Senegal, we are condemned to live together in peace, unity, and harmony. We cannot afford to have aggression between us. Gambia's been there for Senegal, Senegal's been there for Gambia. Remarkably, I said this is July. When Kukoy wanted to end the republic, it was Senegalese who came and shed their own blood to protect that republic. The same Senegal will not come to destroy that republic. If we have issues, we have problems, we will have it. This is not the first, it will not be the last. But I think we should resolve it through diplomatic channels, through sound minds. And like I said, if there was no war between Gambia and Senegal, when Jammeh was on one side of the border and Wade on the other, it's not going to happen between the two peaceful, cool, calm, and collected, easygoing presidents, Jammeh and Barrow. There'll be peace, there'll continue to be peace. We will continue to work for internal security. We will continue to work harder to protect the territorial integrity of the country. But the government cannot do it alone. We need the cooperation, collaboration of citizens and non-citizens alike, residents within the territory of the Gambia, so that this gem of a paradise on earth, called the Smiling Coast of Africa, will continue to thrive and be the hope of the lost, the underprivileged, the deprived, the refugees who have been coming from all over the sub-region of the realm. Gambia is home to every peace-loving person, and we'll keep that under the leadership of Africa's most peaceful president, who is leading the continent's happiest nation, where the youths, even Ebrima Baldeh is very happy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sabally. Thank you.